There you go.
It was a night just like tonight. A DBA was working late in the office. He was alone and happily restoring databases for a big project that was due Monday. All of a sudden, he got an email. It said, "Disk space low." He thought it was a little weird, but he went on about his business anyway. He did a couple more restores, and another email came in. Then another, and another. He started getting concerned. Who's telling me I have low disk space, he thought. He was a little nervous now, but he had work to do, so he kept going. Then, he heard something behind him. Oh, it was just the cleaning lady. Then another email came in. This one said, "CPU is at 90%. What are you talking about? How do you know my CPU is high? That's it. Someone's playing a joke on me. He quickly emailed his team, and everyone said it wasn't them who sent the emails. He tried to forget it and restore a couple more databases. But then more emails came in. He emailed the members of the other IT groups, and all of them said it wasn't them either. Now the emails were coming in 3 and 5 at a time. He couldn't even type a single restore statement without a couple emails coming in. Now he was really scared. Who could be watching him? He decided to call the police. He wanted them to put a trace on the email system. But the police don't do that, so they hung up on him. Then he called his Exchange admin. "You've got to help me. I'm getting emails from someone watching me. These emails they're strange. I don't know what's going on. Someone's watching me and I just don't know what to do. Can you monitor the system and see where the emails are coming from?" The Exchange admin said, "I'll try to get to it, but I'm in the middle of a conversion tonight. So I'll try to get to it when I can." He hung up the phone and kept working, but the emails kept coming and coming and coming. The email alert was getting louder and louder. And more emails came, and then more, and then more. And the incoming email alert was almost deafening, then boom! The phone rang. It was the Exchange admin. He was noticeably shaken. He said, "I found the source of the emails. You need to remain calm. Listen, it's not a prank. The emails are coming from inside the office. Get out of there now. Get out now!" He hung up the phone and left his computer behind and ran to the elevator. He could still hear the emails coming in while he waited for the elevator to get there. Suddenly, his cell rang. But before he could answer it, he noticed he had unread messages. 52 unread messages. He opened his mailbox, and there were all alert messages. His phone rang again. He could still hear the emails coming in from his laptop back at his desk. Then the elevator sounded, and the doors opened. He started to run onto the elevator when he almost ran into someone coming off. He screamed, "Ah!" And he fell to the floor. "Hey man, I've been trying to call you. Haven't you gotten those emails? I installed database mail and set up a few alerts. Have you had a chance to look at the server yet? Because I'm getting alerts like crazy." "Oh, that was you? I thought, what did you think?" "Oh, nothing. So, can we go to your desk and check out the server real quick?" Yeah, we can do that." They went through the door, and when they got to his desk, they found a bloody hook sticking into the back of his seat.
This is yours. That's yours.
Sorry.
My sand guy was vile. Most DBAs, I think, have a special loathing in their hearts for lazy sandfolk, but Phil was really over the top. He was a roadblock in any new project, an idiot savant without the savant about anything that didn't spin, and he somehow thought he was God's gift to databases. The worst thing, though, was that he was actively sabotaging the DBA team, in meetings, at review time, even at the company Christmas party raffle. The final straw came, I think, when a slew of practical jokes was sweeping through the office. People were stealing mouse balls and cords, hiding desktop icons and replacing the background with screenshots of backgrounds, saran wrapping entire cubicles. It was slow season. We were a little bored. Not Phil, though. Phil had been waiting for such an opportunity. With lots of prankster white noise, he leapt. After lunch one Tuesday, I was seeing some unusual log shipping alerts. Nothing much, just some out-of-sync notices, but I was suddenly feeling nervous. I carefully started troubleshooting, but with each step, things kept getting more and more inexplicable. Jobs were missing, fragmentation was rising, CPU was starting to spike, people were panicking, managers were screaming. Ah! I began to sweat and shake. It was Armageddon. Shut up. One thing remained. One icon beckoned. I forced myself to creep the mouse forward, reaching out to management and Object Explorer. Terror gripping my heart, I clicked and clicked one more time. There in the window hung a single maintenance plan. The carnage of the aftermath was unimaginable. We still have junior DBAs locked away that may never recover. But that day I swore on a stack of internals books that I would have my revenge. Revenge on the only man depraved enough, and with enough access to implement No, don't make me say it again.
Okay. This is going on kind of for a long time. Can we just cut to the chase? What ended up happening?
Well, we got Phil fired for being such a colossal prick.
Oh. Ah!
Ooh.
Hi!
Hello!
Thank you. So,
welcome to DBAs at Mid-Fright.
Oh, yeah. The haunting...
The fucking batteries are going out. It always does that.
Creeping.
When the batteries start to go out, it won't stay on. Asshole.
I was broke. It turned it
I'm
on.
not gonna do anything.
The haunting, creeping,
Humping, creeping,
scream.
farting.
You said humping. So you can screw up the intro again. I'd like cake, please.
It's good to be
It is, actually. So what's going on in the wide world of stuff today? I would give you the show number, but I don't know what it is. We're here a couple days before Halloween, clearly, and we got stuff. I've got a really big announcement. I can lead off with that.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Hold on.
You want me to go ahead and hold on? I'll just stay here while he reads things.
Okay, yeah. Somebody recognized the mouse balls was an old story.
Ah.
This is true. One of my personal favorites, by the way.
I think he's been catching up lately. He's one of our new guys, I think. Anyway,
okay.
So I have a really, really big announcement.
Yes, you have a big announcement.
I haven't really told anybody that I was trying for this. I didn't want to be embarrassed if I failed. But
I wasn't even sure.
Yeah, but I have actually gotten my MCM. I'm an MCM now. And
most excellent.
I am here today to share with you guys how I got it. It was actually way simpler. I mean, you've got all of the videos and all the books and all that kind of thing, but it clicked with me when I realized the way I had gotten my MVP, which was, as everybody knows, that cheat sheet that I put together for Pass. That's completely what got me my MVP. So I thought, wait a minute, if I do one for Tech Ed, I am bound to get an MCM, and I was right. So
you did a cheat sheet for Tech Ed and got your MCM.
That's
Wicked
right.
cool.
I know.
Now,
right? It's that easy. I am as good as Paul and Karen.
Now, is it against NDA to say how you got it?
In this case, I'm going to say no. Nobody ever said that was NDA, so, yeah.
Okay. Most excellent. Well, major congrats there.
And I'm not stopping here. Oh, no. I've got big plans. So
Okay.
you guys should tune into upcoming shows to see if things come to fruition. I don't want to say anything again. I don't want to be embarrassed just in case. But anyway. So that's what I've got. I guess we'll go ahead and pull up a set list, huh? That I didn't actually send to you.
Like I said, this is DBA's at Mid-Fright.
Yes, it is.
And that's it. Hey, Data Chick.
Hi.
Data Chicky.
She's in Texas right now. Well, she was. She's traveling a lot. So I don't
then
know.
how come you're not here?
Because she was in Houston.
And I don't mean here. I mean
why did you point
here.
at your groin when you said here?
Because it's
Why
Data
aren't
Chick.
you here?
It's Data Chick. Hello.
In my groin.
If it,
Oh, yes, we got a new gesture.
If it had been Data Dude, I would have said, how come you're not here?
Oh yeah. If I create an Excel spreadsheet, who knows what I'll get.
Yeah, some of the chat room bid on the MCM bit. It's the same.
Who's Mark? Mark,
What you're talking about.
give us a shout out. Tell us who you are, where you are, how you came across us, all that stuff. I'll be over here.
But why don't we talk about things that we like talking about?
We can
You
talk
wanna
about things. Sure, I can talk about things. God, I've got so many things too. Not so many things, but some good things.
And yet he's still babbling. This is how we roll on the show.
Who wants me to start off with kind of a mini rant? I've got a
I
mini
mini
rant.
do.
You mini do?
If they could use smaller fonts, I'm sure they'll be all like, ooh,
Oh, me too. Okay, so I ran into a guy at Tech Ed. Not at Tech Ed, at PASS. Damn it, you and your damn Tech Ed.
hang on. Hey guys, tell Zippy I'm gonna try to do a Google Plus chat, or that he should do a Google Plus chat.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, wow, that's not strong or hot.
I tried.
So, I talked to a guy at PASS before, and we were talking. I was giving him my mini rant about interviewing and how many guys I know.
Whoa. You have an interview rant?
How many guys have been in this business for 10 plus years and don't even know Car and Varcar, right?
Right.
And that's starting to sound so cliche to me, but my God, man, why don't you know it? And so he was telling me, well, you know, I used to know that stuff a long time ago, and
Just go.
oh, okay. Well, I was seeing if that was really Nick.
Just go.
And
Yeah,
he
I
goes,
used to know how to put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, well, he says-
Yeah.
He says, I used to do that stuff forever ago when I was first learning, but it really had no real-world application to it. So I kind of forgot it because, you know, you never come across that kind of... You never really have to use that kind of thing. I was just like, what? And I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? And so that reminded me, several years ago, a friend of mine at work, a work friend, right?
Yeah. It's okay. We believe you have friends.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I say a work friend because it wasn't a real friend, because it turns out he was one of those douches at Tenet who was razzing me a few weeks ago, right?
Tenant douche.
He took he was taking his master's course in IT, and he was taking a normalization class, a data modeling class, and his instructor, I'll put that in dick fingers, said that you will never have to normalize anything outside of the classroom because it's only academic, and you never actually do any of that bullshit in real life. And I'm like, will y'all stop that? I'm getting really sick of hearing that basics and the database basics that make things run well are only academic. Where the hell did this rumor get started that stuff that you do every day in your job to make things run well are only academic?
Somebody's been reading about NoSQL.
I don't know. No, but this is the second time you've told me this, and it's the second time I've thought of Paul Nielsen's thing where he says, normalize till it hurts, denormalize till it works. I like that. Oh.
Yeah,
Paul Nielsen says normalize, Paul Nielsen.
Because you can certainly over-normalize.
Oh, yeah.
When the simplest query takes 5, 6 joins, you've over-normalized. Anyway. Hey, Nick, if that's really you, man, you missed our big skit.
Ah, well, he'll get it.
We told our ghost stories. Yes, in Erica's mouth. So anyway, that's my mini rant, but I kind of want to hear what the chat room thinks. When did all of these things turn into wives' tales?
I need to do this
or
because
fairy tales.
this is good. There's no sequel like no sequel like no sequel I know. You're welcome, Robert.
Oh, I see.
No, Nick, you didn't miss it. Not the fair, huh?
Fine, huh? Let me guess. It's LaRock posing as soldier. He signed in as soldier.
You guys suck. No, he has promised to be nicer because he loves us and he's just jealous of that eye makeup. Okay, if you want, but I don't know the whole tune. Okay, so stuff. Let me see. No. Oh yeah, a couple of announcements. I've put together a paper.li newsletter. It's a daily thing. It'll come out. You can search for it and all that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
It's just a way to keep people updated because I say things like this. Sean's got a good blog on.
So I just sent you a chat invite.
Oh, good. Where?
Not an invite. An invite.
An invite. Thingies. Anyway, I have an applied SQL up on backups. It's very basic level, but it's good stuff.
Woohoo.
We've got some good videos. We've got the interview with Don Gill is on YouTube now. A very short interview, about 2 minutes, but we do talk about the big prank we pulled on him.
I do wish we could have spent more time with him.
I know. It was a very busy conference. There were a few people I barely saw at all.
I groped him a couple times and never got a chance to really follow up.
He was too busy answering emails.
Yeah. It was, actually. Yes.
Maybe if somebody weren't telling everybody to fill up my email box, I could email you back, boy.
Oh, yeah, I had that whole rant I'm going to have to look up. I actually have a rant this week, but that'll have to wait.
Wow.
While I look that up here, why don't you pick one of your things in my mouth? Because that's what she said only kind of works. Here you go. And we'll talk about things.
You know, I want to kind of switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Talking about raises. Right? Which camera are we on? This one? Okay.
Should we join you at camera 2?
So, talking about raises. Every year, hopefully every year, your company will give you a raise. Quite often, it turns out to be, we'll say, perfunctory. Right? So, my question to you is really, how perfunctory should you put up with before you actually get insulted and start looking for another job? Now, my last company, we went 4 years without a raise. But that was because nobody was getting raises. I mean, they didn't give everybody 15% and give me 1.5%. You know, they didn't give anybody raises. And my boss actually took a pay cut for 3/4 of a year or so. So, how much?
Sorry, go ahead.
How much is an insult? Because we had raises this year, and I heard someone in another group was so insulted they refused to even sign their review.
What was it, like 0.1%?
It was well under 3.
Well, and that's... Oh, we got a dreaming doggy. Well, and that's the thing. I've largely been employed in the tech sector since the dot-com bubble. I was there during, but I was an intern through most of that. And so I don't think I've ever had regular raises. Ever. So, at what point do I get insulted? Well, I'll let you know once I start getting regular raises. This company may be good about that. We'll see.
Aw, gold.
Aw, gold. I know raisins. Raisins are delicious. How do you ask a raise when your employer is your mom?
Same.
Mom!
Right.
That would actually be pretty effective.
No, because again, you'd pass out and
Yeah, I know.
they'd walk over you, and that'd be the end of it, right?
Negative raises? I think there's probably a word for that.
So, one thing that kind of gets me is that we don't have bonuses for anybody under VP, right? And it doesn't really bother me that we don't get bonuses. It bothers me that they
VPs do. I'm way more important than you are.
Yeah.
This is exactly what they're saying.
Because you notice, I'm getting mine, right? Well, and that's right. That's All Gold has it. I mean, most IT people give themselves a raise by changing jobs.
Every single raise I've gotten, and I just about doubled my income in the first 2 years I was in databases, because I went from a regular gig, and my first full-time database gig was okay, and then the next one was great, and the one after that was like, wow!
Well, you got the big raise for the naked little pamphlet.
That was the big thing. The pamphlets are where the money's at,
With a
man.
quick reference to where to go after the show.
I'll tell you what.
So, the question still remains, how little is too little? Because we're not working fast food, right? I mean, if you work at Wendy's behind the counter, you don't expect to get a raise every year because...
Actually, I got more consistent raises at Wendy's. I really did. I worked for Wendy's for 2 years, and I got like 4 raises.
External promotion for the win.
I like that.
All gold.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of over time, you start to get the feeling that you could be making 10, 15K more. And that's the point at which it's not a matter of I only got 2% this year. Here, you gonna heat that up?
No.
Oh.
It's not very strong, so...
Oh, okay, I'll take it.
You can take it.
And things. Zippy, I'm not getting a request here. Oh, well, that's...
Did you check your spam?
It's not that. He wants me to email him. He didn't actually say that.
That's not what he said.
Well... Anyway, okay, so I have a rant, and it's going to start off all politically, so you're going to have to bear with me, but it's going to merge right back in. Oh, you were over here. I didn't realize that. I don't know things. All right, so I'm going to make this a little bit generic. A person I know, a few people, we'll just amalgamate, don't understand, I'll refer to this as one person. A guy I know does not understand the Occupy movement.
I see.
For those of you perhaps watching in the future, after the apocalypse and everything but this web show has been destroyed, right now there's a series of protests essentially springing up in cities all over America and now in cities internationally. There's one in London and Sydney, and there's one that I'm going to call Occupy, China, but it's a specific city in China. Anyway. That are basically, people are pissed off, and they're just getting together and living in a public space and being publicly pissed off.
Hey, Todd, you can occupy this midnight DBA.
Occupy midnight DBA. And it's getting the movement is getting some critiques because there aren't really any clear, there's no clear list of demands. And they're calling themselves the 99 percenters. Basically, they're pissed off at the banks, and there was a big bailout, and the banks took the money and ran and fucked everybody over, and so forth and so on. It's a big unfair thing, right? So it's very open, it's very inclusive. Stop picking at the wall, please. It makes me crazy. That goes for all of you. So my thing is, I'm not going to talk about how I feel about it because I blogged about that in my personal blog. That's a different thing. So the other day, this guy announced that he just read that the whole Occupy movement was started by Acorn. You remember Acorn. They were that organization, that democratic liberal organization that tried cheating the fuck out of the last election vote, submitted thousands and thousands of false voter registrations.
Aren't they also the ones that were like trying to teach hookers to cheat on their taxes or some shit like that? There was an underground hooker
like
thing
that.
with Something like that, anyway.
What do we want? Something! When do we want it? At some point! Like I said, I've got a blog stating how I think and feel about that, and for the record, I think they're doing quite well. They're being extremely inclusive, and I think it's going to coalesce. There. But that's not what this is about. So it's a big conspiracy, essentially. And that's my word. So because Acorn started the Occupy movement, so this person read, now he gets it. Oh, I get it now. Because before, he didn't get it. I don't understand. Why don't they have a platform? Why don't they have a leader? Why don't they... Oh, I get it now. Whoa, 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 whoa. So now you believe that the whole 99% Occupy movement is a big conspiracy. For what reason? To what end? No idea. So I have to start it on the basic idea that, okay...
They're after me Lucky Charms.
And I still say, of course... A big movement and whatnot is the definition of a conspiracy. It is still a bunch of people coming together for a common goal to conspire to get what they want. It is
plotting, if you will.
It is
in the same
conspiracy
way,
in the very definition of the...
In the exact same way that the IT department is conspiring to make things work.
Yeah. Oh, not at my job, but
Well,
I get the sentiment.
Yeah. So anyway, I have to start with, okay, people are legitimately mad. This is a real movement with real people, regardless of how it might have started. I'm not going to argue about the Acorn thing. I have no idea. Sounds like complete and utter bullshit, but whatever.
Utter bullshit just sounds painful.
Yeah, I know, right?
Poor cow.
But he's of the impression that most of the Occupy members are made up, that they are Acorn people. So there are thousands of Acorn people sitting around the country and now around the world. No. All of the news stories that talk about the thousands of voter registrations talk about a couple dozen Acorn representatives. It's not a 70 billion thousand member... Okay, so fine.
Nick was involved in a big movement. He's about 3 pounds lighter now.
Thank you, Nick, for sharing. All right, so this all ties back in, firstly because it's utter and complete head-up-your-ass bullshit, and I can't stand that. But secondly, because it's a trend that I'm seeing in IT, I mean all over the place, but we're tying this back into IT, right? This idea that we're going to just jump on one little factoid, one little rumor, and run like hell with it, come hell or high water, regardless. In the face of all the facts being presented to you, you're just going to go, because somebody said it was a transaction log, and I'm fucking sticking with it.
Zippy DM'd you his email.
You see,
All right.
MVP doesn't mean as much to me anymore because it used to have standards, but now you can make cheat sheet.
But here, I'll just read what I wrote at this point because I'm getting wordless. I'm getting so especially in troubleshooting, especially in project planning and execution, we need a thing. Wasn't that done with a function before? We need a fucking scalar function right now. Goddammit! Okay, calm down. Let's actually find out what this is and what it's supposed to be. No function. Okay. Anyway, so do you have anything to say about that? You don't experience that ever, do you?
No, never.
I don't like that, and I'm sorry. I asked you.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I asked this guy. I didn't argue him into agreeing with the Occupy movement. I said I'm not going to change your politics. I'm not going to change what you believe, but do not pick one random fact out of the air and choose to believe several thousand things based off of that one thing that may or may not be true. That's goddamn bullshit, and I won't put up with it anymore from the people that are in my same breathing space. I'm done. You go now.
I concur. See, I know how to concur.
You concurred very well. Good job.
I did. What camera are we on?
We're on this one.
Now we're on 2.
Oh, give us camera 1.
Yeah, I actually was trying for 1 and hit 2, so I'm just...
Well, I've been staring at the
I'm
wrong
on
one.
it tonight.
Cool, on camera 1. So I was going to ask... Has there been any movement on that?
No, but interestingly enough, today we were talking about costumes.
Hi.
I hate you.
I love you.
I hate you so much.
I have a confession to make.
What's your confession, Chef Johnny? Matt T. Mike Lee.
Matt.
Fuck. I hate you so much. The hell's your name?
Chef Matt. I found out that Sean made a better sauce than I did this week. He made a chasseur that has even made its way all the way back to me.
How did it make it? Never mind. Okay.
I heard that it was fabulous.
Sean does good sauce. He was a saucier, you know, among other things. Were you a saucier?
I made you a mixtape.
The funny thing, I actually did get a mixtape while I was at Pass.
A mixed one.
Thank you, thank you.
Would you like to hear some of the songs on it? I can serenade you.
No, I'd really rather not.
Next week I'm making you my special cheesecake.
Special cheesecake? Now I'm extremely suspicious.
It's wonderful. I make the best cheesecake you've ever had.
I seriously doubt that.
I'll make you my chasseur. I'll make you some special marsala just for you.
You can make whatever you want, man. You're not a bad chef.
Ha! You just said it. I'm better than Sean.
Okay, time to go away now.
Just because you don't suck.
In the chat room, Airborne Geek. I love a good Uranus joke because I'm 12.
Absolutely.
I know, Bulldog, I know. Special short bus cheesecake.
So what did I miss while I was gone?
I was trying to tell a story. You asked.
You'd finished your story.
You asked a question and then you disappeared and you let that asshole in again.
A chef of indeterminate name appeared.
Chef of indeterminate name, which is his new name.
Okay.
So, but no, we got into a talk about costumes today that turned into a discussion of the finer points of different flavors of Christianity, and I quickly turned around and put my headphones on and lost myself into some deeply loud music. The end. That's not a good idea.
If you got it.
It was Dropkick Murphys, and you said two. I don't know which other band. Matrice. Thank you, Chef Matrice. God damn it. You're gonna edit that out, right? Okay, so that's what I have about that. While he's typing things, I will go over here. I don't have Zippy. I don't have a DM from you. I don't have anything. I'm afraid you're just gonna have to deal with the sucky connection. In which case, I don't know why I'm actually saying this because you can't hear me. Okay.
It's great for the recording. So
It totally is.
I know, right? Good evening. So, Agent Man, is that really Tim? Isn't Tim sequel agent?
Yeah.
Tim, is that really you, dude?
Prove it. Is Catholicism Neapolitan? I don't... Oh, I get that! Oh, very Neapolitan. Alright, since you're not doing anything, let's see. Some of my favorites from this week. I have a favorite list.
Oh, yes, do a favorite list.
I will do some favorites. Whoa, I've got a lot of favorites. What the fuck? Okay, so apparently they've actually found a three-eyed fish.
Nice.
A la Mr. Burns, near a nuclear plant in Cordova. I'll post that link on the Groupies site. That's all I have to say about that. It's Cordova. I think that was it. And hang on, I will follow the thing, and I will go to the website, and I will post it for the peoples, and I will bring it up, and this is really good TV. Watching me type URLs. Copy paste. While I'm bringing that up, ThinkGeek posted a link of Boba Fett playing Still Alive on the accordion, which makes me furiously happy. Presentation secrets of Steve Jobs.
Oh, shit, Nick.
Shitnik?
You
Ooh,
just have-
Shitnik,
you
that
just
was
have
like
to-
the
You just
first...
have to read that.
That was like the first Russian satellite, right?
Bottom, Nick.
Blinky. I found a fish with no eyes. It's called a fish.
Ass.
Ba-dum-bum.
Okay, if you want me to talk about something, I will.
Yeah, you talk about stuff.
I will talk about my replication problem this week.
Tell us about your replication problem, honey.
Oh my god. Kiddo, do you want to go to bed? You may.
Or you can lie down on the couch, or not.
Or you can sit there.
Or you can star in the show.
Or you can lie down on the dog. Oh, okay. Have you heard that MC Hammer is apparently launching a web search service?
Yes, I have.
Doesn't that sound like the setup for a joke?
Doesn't it, though?
Don't you wish I had a good punchline?
Only I can't come up with a punchline. I've been trying to think about it this week.
That's the joke and the punchline.
Please, Emma, don't search them.
Yeah.
So anyway, I got woken up a couple nights ago.
Wasn't me.
Middle of the night to the dulcet sounds of the guy who wakes people up. And he says, we've been having problems. I've been getting alerts on replication for a while now. Would you mind too terribly getting out of bed and walking across your cold house and stumble across a couple dogs on your way to check it out? Fine.
Does he have cameras in our house?
Mm.
And thermometers?
3 of them right here.
So I do just that, and I get in there and I try to push a token. Mm-hmm. That was for you, Nick. And it wouldn't come across. So I'm like, okay. So I went in and looked at the log, right? It's getting better. And
Was it a big long log?
And there were no errors.
There's three-headed fish, just so you know.
Three-eyed fish.
Three-eyed fish. Did I say three-headed before?
No.
Eyed.
That's gross, though.
I know. Go ahead, sorry.
But there were no errors on the log. So I was like, okay. And I looked at the uncommitted transactions, right? Uncommitted commands. And they were like 12 million. Okay, that's a problem. We usually don't like to get over, say, a couple hundred or a couple thousand, right? So I knew there was a problem, plus the token still wasn't pushing, so I'm like, okay, fine. And I look in all kinds of places. I look in the error tables, and I look in and there's nothing really there, right? Yeah. I look at the resources on the distributor and the subscriber, because right away I noticed that it was going to the distributor right away, like 1 second lag time. So the problem was definitely at the distributor or at the subscriber. I got 2 subscriptions for it, and one of them was 12 million behind, the other one was like 8 million behind. So one of them's definitely more wronger than the others, right? Mm-hmm. But I was going under the impression it was probably going to end up being the distributor, right? All of the counters, all the Perfmon counters I looked at, absolutely nothing wrong. The box was asleep. CPU well under 20%, most of the time in the very low teens. Discs performing well and almost asleep. So on, I mean, just absolutely nothing, right? So I can't figure out what the hell's going on here. So I look at it for about 3 hours. I look at one thing or another and try to get one thing going, another thing going, and just looking at the different system tables and whatnot to try to find any large transactions that are going on, because I could have like a huge delete statement that's deleting just millions and millions of rows, right? And
sure.
Each one of those statements is in there. We've had that happen
before.
Sure,
of course.
That wasn't the case. Nothing over, say, a couple hundred to a few hundred transactions. So absolutely nothing I can find. So finally I bite the bullet and say, okay, let's open up a case with Microsoft, a critical case with Microsoft, because we need this, right? Mm-hmm. By this time, we're talking something like 15 million transactions behind, right? So, oh my.
Stop reading.
And so Microsoft gets on, and I was actually relatively disappointed with the support. The guy kind of fumbled around.
Don't you hate
he
that?
took forever.
Just get in there.
To do certain things. I mean, he would look at this publication and then look at that one and then look at that one and then look at that one and then look at that, and I'm like, dude.
And you're eventually like, Jesus, dude, just fuck me already.
The problem is with this publication.
I'm sorry, I broke Freddy. Go ahead.
So I'm like, I'm like, dude, it's this one publication. You don't have to keep looking at all the others. It's just this one. Everything else is flowing just fine. And okay, so he looks at that. Then he goes down and looks at the subscriber. Not really any of the properties. He just expands subscribers and looks at them, right? Mm-hmm. And he goes and queries some system tables and then looks at some perfmon counters and absolutely everything I did, right? And by now we're up to like 17 million behind.
They want you to get to the point.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Robert does.
Anyway, whole point was they brought absolutely nothing to the table, and we decided in the end that it was going to be so long to catch up, we might as well just reinitialize with the backup. That's what I did. I spent the rest of the day doing it, but it kind of pisses me off though, because I spent a long time looking at it, and I'm not a replication god, but I'm not damn bad either, right? And I prefer to have somebody on the phone who really, really knows what they're doing. And I was really hoping he could show me some really cool shit that I missed. And I'd be like, oh, that's what I should be doing. Nope. He didn't run a single query I didn't run. Didn't look at a single thing I didn't look at. And I'm just like, dude, we gotta get this shit going. I don't have all day for this. So anyway, that's how it ended up. I wish that it could have ended up better, and I had a really cool story to some really cool tech shit to throw down on you guys. But no, didn't happen. That's all I have on that.
Well done, then. I had something. What do I have? It's just a very small, random, side notey kind of thing. I've been dealing with log shipping this week. It's log shipping, right?
And Pool Boy's here.
Hello, Pool Boy. Pool Boy. So, log shipping this week, and I was getting some funny alerts. There's an alerting job that comes with it. You're behind, whatever, right? And I was like, well, that's funny because it's not behind. I wonder if I've accidentally got it set up twice for one database or something funky like that. And I went and looked. No. So, but just in the course of digging around, I looked at the SP that alerting uses, and it's not documented. And I don't know why that just struck me as so weird. What is and isn't documented in SQL Server?
Oh yeah.
Is fairly random, and I'm not necessarily jumping on the BOL team because I kind of get it. The stored procedure used by the automated job that the log shipping wizard sets up for you. Okay, I guess I could see how that would be at the bottom of your radar. It just struck me sort of odd. What do you mean I can't read up on this? I didn't go see the code. All right, so I'm going to interrupt myself with breaking news from about a week ago. Church of Scientology investigated South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker. So yeah, apparently, here.
Remind me to tell you about Kim Kardashian when we're done.
Sure. Marty Rathburn, a former Church of Scientology executive-turned-critic and independent worshiper, revealed to the Village Voice a number of documents that detailed the religious sects' detailed surveillance of the Emmy-winning TV moguls. I gotta interrupt myself again and say, of all the people in the world to survey, to stalk, wouldn't they be like the most entertaining? Even if they're the most boring people in the world. Just watching them and waiting them to break out into like a Cartman impersonation. So,
I know, right?
Through the help of informants, public records, and various other means, they searched for vulnerabilities in the pair's personal lives, and after exploring their personal and business connections, widened their focus to investigating actors such as John Stamos as well.
Seriously, bitch, give me a coffee.
Now again,
Jason's here, straight.
you're investigating Matt and Trey. What do you think you could find to get on them? Do you think if they were blowing crack whores in the park while, I don't know, monkeys were ass raping them, it could be newsworthy? Do you think they could be embarrassed or blackmailed in any way? I don't think it's possible.
Yeah,
Just judging by the kind of stuff that they put
pushing
out
the boundaries of cable television.
I'm telling you, when we talked about this the other day, I've been thinking about it since then, and my first comment still stands.
What's that?
If I were them, I'd be putting all kinds of shit in my trash just for them to find it. And they can come up with some really jacked up shit to put in their trash, right? I mean, wow. I mean, I'd be putting all kinds of things in there. I don't know.
Those fetus hats.
Yeah, sure. But just all kinds of sex toys covered with different things. And
What is it? It's a butt plug with peanut butter. Who does that?
Showstopper.
Chunky peanut butter. Yeah.
something funny I heard this morning that I'm like, some people are like up in arms about it. But personally, I say, good for you for beating the system, for knowing the system and beating it. So Kim Kardashian, of all people, right?
Oh yeah, talk about Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Stop reading.
Her brother was on Dancing with the Stars.
She has a brother?
Yeah, that's what I said too, right? And evidently when it came time for the voting, she tweeted, "Oh my God, I just got Justin Bieber's phone number. Here it is. He's accepting calls for the next hour."
No.
And people would call, and it was her brother's voting number, and just blew it out of the fucking water.
Oh my God. That is so wrong and clever. That is really wrong and clever.
Yeah, that's what I said. So a lot of people are like really up in arms about it because that's not fair. And hey, dude, it's the system, and she beat it. Shut up. You're bad, and you can't do anything about it. People are going to start doing that now, and yeah, it's not a fair vote and everything, but
game over, man.
it is about who got the most calls. So
And he got the most calls. That's amazing. Because you can't help yourself. You're just like,
yeah, well,
Okay, I
idiots
got it.
can't help themselves. Night, Zippy.
Yeah, I called 3 or 4 times, but then I realized it wasn't real.
I got a couple quick things. All right. So, who was it? It was on the Twitters that Noel Garrity, Brian Garrity, said, "I never said, when I grow up I want to explain to an infinite line of vendors why I'd rather not give them sysadmin rights on my database server."
I know, right?
Fair enough. Chuck Wendig said, "Writing is really your gig when you have a bad day, but you say, you know what? This story ain't gonna unfuck itself," and you dive back in. I really like that attitude. That attitude.
Just by the way, Occupy Church of Scientology.
No thanks. I'm good. Appreciate it. Bye.
They're
Okay.
just down the street.
No. Here, you want
Did I tell you
your thing?
about that? They have like a building with a sign on it and everything.
Building with a sign? That's new. Before they just had kiosks in the mall.
Yeah, it's a
Creepy.
building with a sign.
So,
With a sign, huh?
The brick and mortar.
Does it say Jesus is watching you, you pee?
so I've had a couple situations recently that I want to talk to you about.
Oh, shit.
No shit. One of them happened during this whole replication fiasco.
Okay.
We initialized with a backup.
Okay.
Now, for some reason, and I haven't been able to figure this out yet. Maybe since we've got some superstars in the chat tonight, maybe they can shed some light on this.
Superstar.
Now, the database has lots of file groups, and every one of them on their own one,
19.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, there's this one module that has a single table and like 4 SPs that work with it, right? But every time we take an aggressive backup, anything more than just the default parameters, right? Any of you that have seen my backup tuning session, you know what I'm talking about.
Seen it.
Anytime we try to get aggressive at all with the parameters, this one process and this one process only in the entire database slows to a screeching halt. Don't know why. It's only a single table, it's a single thread that writes to it, and all it's doing is inserts. It's just blam, blam, just insert. But anytime we take a backup, that thing just comes to a halt, right? So, during the replication, we've really come to rely on the replicated servers for our business, right? I mean, they do a lot of stuff on there because the prod server just couldn't handle that with the OLTP load. So they're usually screaming at us to get replication back up as fast as possible, right? So I take a backup with like 2,000 buffers and 10 files, right? And it finishes in about 20-25 minutes. So yesterday when I did this backup in the middle of the day, the process slowed down again. I knew it would. It does every single time we set up replication. people started screaming. They started up a bridge line. VPs were hollering and everything. And the thing is they
Stop coughing.
they act like this never happens, right? And so one VP actually said to me, and this isn't just a VP, this is like a senior VP, actually said, why are we doing this in the middle of the day? Why are we being so aggressive with the backups in the middle of the day? And you know, why is this slowing down this process? And why is this last minute unannounced thing? And I'm like, okay, I've been working on replication since the middle of the night. And I've told you guys that we weren't getting anywhere and we'd probably have to rebuild. You know that means taking a backup. You know that means taking an aggressive backup because I've used the same script since I set it up and I've never changed it.
They clearly don't know.
And every single time it slows this process down. What about this was a surprise?
Well,
Why
it
is
happened
it-
the same way again.
Yeah, I know, right? So my whole point here is don't let other groups give you, quote, grief or blame you for stuff that is A, out of your control, and B, happens all the time. Stuff that they even ask you to do, right? Because now they've asked me to back it off. Well, we need to back this off. And I say, well, I can back it off, but you also said you need replication up as fast as possible. And if I back this off, it's going to take an extra half a day to get replication going.
What if we do the full backup, but like only a quarter of it at a time, and give a 15-minute window to let everything catch up? What do you think?
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Nick, that's true. Well, Robert, the reason why I have to take a new backup is
Stop coughing.
because in order to do that and roll through all the logs, it would take longer than it would to
Just take a backup.
Just
and
take a
restore
backup.
it. And
And I
there
don't
comes a
know-
point where there's a diminishing return.
And I don't
seriously.
know if you can. I've never tried this. I don't think you can restore from a full backup and then roll through all the logs and then use that as your backup, as your replication restore point. I don't think you can do that. I think it has to be a full backup and that's it. I've never tried. But anyway, but I don't think you can do that. Yeah.
Anyway.
So, okay,
Stop
he says
reading.
you can. But all the same, I can back that thing up in, say, 20, 25 minutes.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So anyway, and to roll through all those logs, we take logs every 15 minutes, so it'd take a long damn time.
You sure shit a lot.
I know, right?
We are really winding down. It's kind of a good thing because we've only got 4 minutes of show left.
So anyway,
Yeah.
but the point is
You have a
stuff that's predictable, stuff that happens all the time. So don't let them get on you for that. You know, there was something else that we had that was the exact same thing. That's something that happens every single time. Oh yeah, when we did our big
Stop coughing.
when we did our big upgrade about a month ago, and I had to take the backup beforehand, and they didn't put it in their timeline, even though I told them again and again and again and again and again. And then they were screaming when it came time to do the backup, and how come it's taking so long? And I'm like, and they kept calling it every single time somebody said it. They said, "This last minute backup that Sean's making us do."
Ah, I remember that.
No, it wasn't a last minute backup.
It was a backup I've
It
been
was-
telling you about.
it's
You've
an-
been ignoring.
Yeah, it's not only a backup I've been telling you, but it's a backup we do every time we do it.
I have two things, and I will show them to you. First off, to almost end our show, we
Oh yeah.
we talked a little bit about we did a couple horror stories, right? Ghost stories, kinda, And we want to do a lot
Go
more.
on.
But pretty much what it came down to was that, and what we found out about this coming year's, one of the coming year's events. I'm getting a little bit nervous about the direction that Microsoft is taking with its major conference. And I just kind of like to put this out there as, I don't know, sort of a cautionary, sort of a little warning to everybody. Maybe you should consider skipping. Just saying. Did it come through okay? No? Okay. Well,
Oh, here, put it up on this one.
get closer.
Put it up on screen 2.
I'll wait for screen
Camera
2.
2.
And there you go. So, just saying.
There we go.
It would be awesome, by the way, if you'd like, guys. I can put TechEd 2010 Crystal Lake up as like a hash, and you can put it on your blogs for a few days if you feel like it. You don't have to.
Excellent.
And what was the other thing I was going to say? Okay, so I'm reading the Steve Jobs bio right now, and it's actually really good. One of the things that
He dies at the end.
He does. Spoilers. Hello. But yeah, I mean, I've never paid a lot of attention to Steve Jobs. I've never been a Mac guy. You know, clearly it's always been on my periphery because I mean, first computer was an Apple IIe, iPad, iTouch, all that kind of thing. So, but he was a lot different than, had I taken the time to imagine him, he's a lot different than I would have imagined. A lot more.
Well said.
A lot more volatile, a lot more of a dick, but a lot more charismatic and a lot more.
Yeah, I've heard he's had dick problems.
Someone in here said that he recognized he was an assaholic, and I really quite liked that. But
I
the
do
term
like
that I
that.
wanted to introduce was something that they used, especially in the first several years at Apple, to describe something that Steve did. It's a term taken from like the first episode of the original Star Trek, and it was a reality distortion field. Steve Jobs had a reality distortion field where he would just convince you that, well, yes, we can do this in 4 days, and you will do it, and then you did it, even though it's impossible.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
These are not the droids you're looking for. Nobody referred to it as that because anyway, but they called it the reality distortion field, and I really like that, and that's what you were experiencing. Their reality distortion field. It can work in several different ways, and they're using it for evil.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to start using that on a regular basis.
You will bring Captain Solo and the Wookiee to me.
So he used the Force? Yes. Yes. Steve Jobs was actually a Sith Lord. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Well, and he was into Eastern, religion and into meditating and into minimalism and stuff
He's
like
in
that.
California.
Because it's Western. I get
West
that.
Coast, yeah, see? You see what I did there?
Nope.
I'm on it tonight.
So, to clarify,
Yes.
SQL Soldier says that you can initialize a replication from a log backup.
Uh-huh.
Frankly, it just never crossed my mind.
You can
So there
initialize
you go.
replication from a log backup.
So you do a full, and then you roll through logs, and then you just list that last log backup as the replication initializer. Yeah, that's what you
It
call
makes
it, I
sense.
guess.
You're rubbing on the thing. You're going to rub the paint off.
Rubbing the paint off?
Well, I'm saying that if you keep doing that, you rub it.
I
Anyway.
doubt it.
So,
Go here.
all right, let's do a quick rundown. What you got on your blogs and stuff.
I haven't written much on my blog this week. I meant to, but didn't.
That's not a good thing. What's the last thing you wrote on your blog? It's a Just Say No.
Oh, is it really?
Yes, tell the people a little bit about the Just Say No.
Yes, it's a blog about how to tell customers no when they ask for stuff that they shouldn't have, but still find a way to give them what they need, just not give them what they want.
Sean wants you to have what you need, baby. Oh, yeah.
I got what you want. I got what you need, but you can only have what you need.
I blogged on SQL Friday, and one person participated, so I need to do that roundup. That's okay. It makes it easier on me. And again, the Applied SQL blog. We've got interviews up on YouTube. Both Kaylin Delaney, which is like a 22-minute interview, and Don Gill are up on our YouTube channel. I put up a new set of mugs on Zazzle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just you can pick any mug that they offer, and just our moon and the Midnight DBA on it. So if you're dying for a Midnight DBA mug with nothing on it, that is now available on Zazzle. What else? blogs, videos. Upcoming appearances. Here are a list of cities I will not be appearing in before the end of the year. Bangladesh, Portland, New York, Vancouver, El Paso. What?
Right.
You were in Vancouver in June.
Yes, but I will not be appearing in them from here till the end of the year. We don't have anything planned.
Right.
Feels good.
I will not be in OKC, Honolulu, San Diego, or Tallahassee.
Okay. Oh. Nor Albuquerque.
Right.
ALBUQ.
You know what? I would get a midnight mug if they had the nice big mugs that I like.
No, they don't like that.
Yeah, or, you know...
No, they've got a tankard, but... And
That's
they've
not
got
the
a
same
travel thing, but no, they don't have that. I'll complain to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I think it's time to end the show.
I think it is.
Play us out.
Oh, I have a job here. Oh, well.
Oh yeah, party on.
Party on Wayne.
Party on, Garth. Yes, I was serious about the no oversized hygiene products. What makes you think I would lie to you? More sequel show tunes? Oh, we've done show tunes. We can do it again.